this podcast. So today I am so in the mood on Venus Day to talk about love, to talk about sex, and to talk about the tantric experience. We need to remember the love in the air. Don't forget about this because this is what's going to get us through. It's the evolution through love that is the miracle. So make sure to learn more about love and Tantra in my new series, The Tantric Talks. It's all on my website. The link is down below. And I want to give you a little preview of what we talk about. I bring a lot of Osho's teachings in because Osho really, explains perfectly what it is to experience a higher love, a higher spiritual love, and how to transform a regular sexual experience into something transcendental, into something mystical, into something actually enlightening. Because sex is the gateway to connecting with each other's soul. So we can't forget about this important detail when it comes to sexual encounters. Okay, through sex is energy. With this sexual energy, it all comes from the sacral chakra, which is something that I actually talk about in my book, which I'm going to show you. Heal from the Inside Out. It's in the sacral chakra chapter, and this will soon be on audio, so stay tuned for that. So I'll link this down below as well. It's available on Amazon now for purchase. But basically, when it comes to this sacral chakra, that's where the sexuality is born, but it's also where the creativity is born. So sexual energy is creative energy. Now, with everything that's going on in the world, I know that people have mixed feelings about this, correct? There's this notion that you can't get close to one another and your partners, right? Especially if you're in the same home at right now, or perhaps you're on the other, category where you don't yet know the value of a sexual encounter and you give it away easily, okay? And so you miss out on the actual benefit because that's draining of your creative energy. It's draining of your life force. It's draining of your vitality. Sex is everything when it comes to humanity and humankind because at the core nature, we are animals, okay? And these animalistic instincts within is because we're animals, okay? But we are evolutionized animals, so we know how to connect through emotion, through intimacy, and through vulnerability. And all of this is what I teach when it comes to achieving the best relationship, a healthy partnership. Book a couple session or even premarital session because sometimes, people mistake love for the sexual connection, and that's called lust, or it can be called an infatuation, or it can just be an illusion that perhaps it's not of, ill nature, but it's not yet, stabilized through friendship, because friendship is at the core of a healthy relationship. So this is important to note because, I see way too many relationships and all the couples that I've seen over the years end because of this reason. Because they mistaken the reason for being together in the first place. Either they were trying to fill a void, or they became codependent on each other for physical basic needs, or they attracted each other through similar sexual wounds, which that can happen. And that's actually a blockage that happens in the lower chakras, which I also talk about here. And this is the importance of this book, Heal from the Inside Out, because the more that you heal from each chakra, you have to heal in order because each one develops on the previous one. So it's kind of like an ascension ladder that you're climbing. And all of these sexual wounds are actually at the lower chakras. It starts with the Earth Star chakra, which begins with the ancestral karma, the ancestral beliefs passed down through family lineages, what you think about the opposite gender, what you think about sexuality. Do you feel comfortable in your sexuality? Or do you see it as something that's taboo or something that should be repressed? Because repressed sexuality is a huge thing in the society, and that's the complete opposite of what Tantra is trying to achieve. And even Osho says this a lot. Repressed sexuality is actually the cause of perversion in our society This is why, sadly to say, our society has become very corrupted. And it's not because they mean to be corrupted, but it's because it's a rebellious instinct. So because of this constriction that society has placed upon individuals and their sexual nature and relationships and what love really is, based off, the false preconceptions of the media and the community and what people perceive sexuality to be in women and in men, then people develop the incorrect beliefs when it comes to love and when it comes to developing a healthy relationship. And this is what I want to teach you, because with all of my years and experience in psychology, my expertise is actually love, relationships, and sex. I have a master's in marriage and family therapy, so I spent extra years after my psychology career in specializing in this area because I'm all about love, okay? I love love, and that's actually what got me in the psychology field in the first place. I wanted to know how to have a healthy, long-lasting marriage in my own life, because I once struggled with love as well. And now I know what it takes, and I'm willing to do the inner healing work. I'm willing to be single. That's something that you need to be willing to do so that you're not settling for something that you deserve better than. So that's a key thing that I also talk about in my A New You Soul Coaching program. I really teach you your value, how to stand up for yourself, how to set healthy boundaries, how to choose yourself first, how to embody more self-love, self-care, and self-respect, as this will naturally magnetize the best kind of love ever in your life. Love is everything right now, especially right now, because love heals all. Love cures. In my book, okay, in the introduction, you're gonna open up the book, and this is actually one of the sample pages on Amazon. In the introduction, I have a quote here by Rumi. And Rumi is also a spiritual teacher, and look what he says. Love is the cure, for your pain will keep giving birth to more pain onto your eyes. Constantly exhale love as effortlessly as your body yields its scent. So this is about that love is the cure. The more pain that you give birth to, the more you exhale love, meaning the more you allow love in to heal you in whatever area this applies to you. And this is how you achieve abundance. This is how you heal, okay? And this is actually one of the first books that we're beginning in the Tantric series today, the Tantra Experience by Osho. And I already highlighted some things from chapter 1, because that's the first one that we're gonna be going over. And also make sure to follow me in my Lightworker University Instagram, because on there I'm also providing, quotes on a daily basis, and my Tantric Talks private group on my website, because in that group, I'm actually giving you extra secrets when it comes to Tantra, and that group is absolutely free. You only have to be a member though, so it's private. I wanted to read to you something here when it comes to the most basic thing about Tantra is this, and it's very radical, revolutionary, rebellious. The basic vision is that the world is not divided into the lower and the higher, but that the world is one piece. Tantra is basically the belief that we are one. It's this big oneness of the universe. All right? There's a lot of quotes here that are very good, but look at this also. Tantra says to find the real person, you will have to go to the roots. So this means that you have to go to your true self, your higher soul. And this is where it begins in the soul star chakra in my book. It really connects you in your higher chakras, in the soul star chakras. You open up to the outer worlds and the Akashic records, to the way that you feel and trust your inner wisdom. This is when you connect to higher realms, okay? And this is when you can achieve this tantric experience, because this is not something that just anybody can achieve. It takes deep meditation. Deep meditation is the deep secret of achieving Tantra. And Tantra, Osho believes that it's actually taught by a feminine energy, because most masculine energies are more in their masculinity. This is why the union of two souls that complement each other in masculine and feminine in an equal balance as they become whole together, is a necessity. That's the twin flame dynamic that I'm going to talk about in the next part of this podcast. And I'm also going to be having these series of presentations to teach you more about the twin flame journey and what it is and how to recognize it in your life and how to attract it if you are not there yet. And basically, if you have what it takes to be a twin flame, because that is work as well. It takes healing. In order to be a twin flame that's going to do big things in the world, and for you to actually come into sacred union, you need to be healed from the inside out on an individual level. And then you come as a companionship into union together. It's not a codependent kind of like I lean on you and you lean on me kind of relationship. It's a free relationship. That's the healthiest and the highest vibrational of all spiritual love, is that which is completely free to just be. Unconditional love, acceptance. And I just saw the number 1111. And this is the love awakening that's happening worldwide. People are awakening on a subconscious level about the infinite potential that love can have in your life and in the universe and on earth. And that is going to be our salvation, love. So the more that people are in love, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with your life, and truly fall in love with your partner, that is your spiritual half, your life companion, then the more that the world is going to heal at a faster pace. And there's another one here, another quote that I wanted to read to you. Tantra looks shameful to people who are sexually repressed, like what I said. Just remember, love conquers all. I'm going to say this for the rest of the series in my Tantric Talks. So join me there. I'll link you the link down below. I'll be live there literally in a few minutes, but the recording will be uploaded by tonight. So join me there. It's only $222 a month for partnerships and numerology. And yeah, I made it the least amount of possible so that we can really talk intimate things there and bring in the Tantric, bring in the Kama Sutra, bring in this higher love that embodies passion, intimacy, vulnerability, and a sexual life that is passionate and fiery. So thank you all, and I'll see you later. Namaste. Family, welcome to the part 2 of my podcast today, Venus Day, the day of love and beauty. And I really want to invite you today that I just finished a presentation teaching you about twin flames, what twin flames are, the twin flame dynamic, the signs, the journey, all of those things, what the mission of twin flames are, the truth behind the twin flame journey. And that's a free presentation that is going to be on my website. It's a 90-minute presentation. I really recommend that you look into it if you want to learn more about love and this higher spiritual union that we're all wanting and aspiring towards. The secret to healing all of what's going on in the world globally is that through love. And also, of course, again, my book, Heal from the Inside Out. This is like the prerequisite to healing before you can come into sacred union with a spiritual partner. Okay, so that's where this book comes into play. And so does my program, A New You, the 10-week intensive soul coaching program. Because in that program, you're working on self-mastery, soul evolution. And this needs to happen before you can attract the highest vibrational kind of relationship. It's just a necessity. And in my Tantric Talks, which is a series that I have on my School of Light, I have the Mindset Talks, and I have where all the shows are. I have the Tantric Talks, which are educational talks about love, spirituality, sexuality, and Osho's teachings in that membership group, which I already have 2 episodes there, plus all the other ones from the previous series that are free on my YouTube that you can start beginning to watch, that are more like a foundation as to what love is, what intimacy is, bringing a little bit of Osho's teachings here and there. But now I'm really getting deep and deep into the Tantra. So today was really interesting with all the information that came through. I have 2 books that we're using simultaneously, plus we're listening to Osho actually speaking in a recording in each session. So we actually get to hear his words, and then that's where the discussion begins as well. And you can also join the private group that I created for the Tantric Talks group. And in that group, which is private but free, I post weekly free, artistic quotes, extra guidance as to what Tantra is, and just very much inspirational messages about the love journey. So you really want to look into that, because that's something that, everybody wants to know about when it comes to love and relationships, and how to truly have, the most passionate sex life, because that comes into play. Osho says that, Osho says it's not about the climax, it's not about the orgasm, because when that's the goal, when that's the intention, you take away from the joy, you take away from the play. And what is Tantra? Tantra is play. That's actually the quote that I wrote in today's group post. Tantra is play. So there needs to be a sense of lightheartedness. There needs to be a sense of surrender. There needs to be a sense of deep meditation, of actually learning to live in the present moment. So everything I teach brings you up to this very point. How to achieve this kind of love. How to reach this pinnacle of bliss, of ecstasy that everybody craves and yet nobody has, because Osho says again that Tantra is very rare. And in today's Twin Flame presentation, all of these messages and this entire presentation was downloaded by Archangel Michael. And the message from Archangel Michael said that twin flames are actually also very rare. These sacred unions on this actual earth and 3D reality are very rare. And you know why it is? Because people know nothing about love. So that's what I want to teach you, what truly is unconditional love. Because people can speak about it, people can try to be in love, but when the reality comes and hits you, what do you listen to? Your higher self or your ego, your pride? Do you let that stand in the way of actually experiencing this free love? Love is free. Love liberates as well. But in order to liberate, there needs to be a sense of freedom. So there's a difference here. Because love liberates your soul to transcend, right? But love is free as well, because Osho also said, and I spoke about this in one of my Tantric Talk videos, that love is free because love allows you to be. There needs to be a sense of freedom for you to connect with the divine. When is it that you connect with the divine? Let me ask you. You connect with the divine when you're in solitude, when you're one with the divine, when you pray, when you meditate. But you need to be able to do this alone first. Because I speak that alone and loneliness are 2 very different things. You can be alone, yet nurtured and held by God and feel more supported than ever. You feel more loved than ever. Yet you can be in a crowd of people and feel the loneliest you've ever felt, leading to depression, sometimes leading into, dark measures. I don't want to mention those names, but I talk a lot about that in my Mindset Talks, where I bring in evolutionary psychology and the consequences of depression. And this is why, because they're separated. And what are they separated? They're separated from the divine. That's the message that I gave in my Rise in Love film that I created last week, 2020. Because this separation from the divine is what causes people to become spiritually lost, out of tune with their higher self, the divine mission, the higher intelligence, the entire purpose of why you incarnated here on earth in the first place. So that's where my cosmic consciousness shows fall into play, because that's where you learn more about the bigger cosmic mission, the bigger picture. And I'll be doing more presentations from now on, because the divine is really pushing me to teach more about what I know and what I've learned through my journey and all the downloads that I've been getting to teach humanity more about this, to wake up to the truth, the spiritual truth. And I wanted to say something else, but I completely slipped my mind right now. Well, please join my Lightworker University, which that begins within a month as well. So that's, the reason behind these twin flame unions, the higher spiritual love, higher love, soulmates. As I was saying, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to talk about the sacred union. In my episode 8 of season 1 of the Love Show on my website, you can see it, I speak about sacred union. What are the different levels and hierarchy of sacred union? The first sacred union that must occur is sacred union with the divine, which is the creator, the ultimate creator. You need to be connected with this higher mission, with the divine, your life purpose, why you're here, and truly, truly surrender to the divine will. Give yourself and devote completely to the divine. The next sacred union that follows is a sacred union with your higher self, not just yourself, but your higher self. And that's at the same time as you start raising in consciousness, in chakras. That happens in the soul star chakras and up into the higher chakras. And then finally, when you've mastered that, that's when you can finally move into sacred union with your beloved, your spiritual half. So that's a sneak peek of today's topic of love. Please tune into the presentation. The link is down below. Also look into the Tantric Talks. Become a member of the free group so that you can get extra posts and extra knowledge there. And follow me on my Lightworker University Instagram and sign up to my free newsletter, and stay tuned with all the blogs and articles that I'm posting on a weekly basis for your soul journey, for your love journey as well. And really, look into buying this book, Heal from the Inside Out. This is the perfect time that you have to read. Read this book. I promise you that it's going to benefit your life for the better. So I really hope you all have an amazing Friday, a very sensual night with your partner, with yourself, but tune into the Venus energy and just let the love and beauty abide all around you. So have an amazing and beautiful day, everybody. Namaste.